Restokim Grosseria. Nidius Entertainment. Wah, pakai fitur lifestyle di BCA Mobile. Semua bisa terkabul, mantul. Makanya buka tabungan dulu di BCA Mobile.
Yo. How's everyone doing? Everyone eat enough? Has anyone heard of an NFT before? If you own an NFT, stand up. I just want to see. What? Come on. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Come on. There's not many NFT holders in here. Okay. Well, if you want to learn about NFTs, you've come to the right session. All right, let's take it away. What's up, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Good, Nick. How's it going?
Great.
Tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Right. So, my name is Yudha. So, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Arktivak. So, Arktivak itself is a Web3 company. It has two arms right now. One is actually Arktivak Capital, in which we mainly invest in the Web3 companies and then Web3 projects. Some of them you might know, like Karafuru, Mindblown is some of the projects that we invested in. And there's also Arktivak Studios. We have like a fully dedicated team there to build like NFT projects or to build any kind of Web3 projects, I think in the future. So I think that's from me.
Who's that guy?
I don't know.
Brandon, you seem to be pretty popular here.
Wait, you know?
Does anyone know Brandon?
Hey! Well, I'm Brandon Salim, and I'm the CMO of Arktivak. So Nick basically has explained what Arktivak is. Yeah, I guess I'm an actor, and I'm also a vegan. But I jumped into the Web3 hole just September last year because of the NFT bull market. I'm just like every other Indonesian here because of a news coming out like, oh, you can get this much money, getting into NFT. I was like, oh yeah, I'm an Indonesian. I have to make money, So that's like basically what a lot of people jump to because of hype. But because of that, I got exposed early on with Nick, how to create an NFT project. And then we decided like, I think there's something so much bigger down the line. So we have to be participating as an Indonesian in the NFT economy.
Hopefully you don't regret your decision, Brandon.
I hope so, Nick, please. Please hold on to your NFT, guys.
And last but not least, Pak Dennis.
Hai, apa kabar Pak?
Apa kabar baik?
Hi, my name is Adhiswara. I'm just an NFT holder, basically from these guys, yeah.
But you're a blue chip holder, bro. Oh, basic.
No. I just happen to be joining two companies this year, and one of them is we are a platform of NFTs, especially NFT music. It's called Netra. Maybe you ever heard of it. I'm a consultant there, and what we are doing is we are selling NFTs to people who likes music, and we have this, what you call it, a listen to earns method for our holders. So basically when you hold our NFTs, you can earn a fraction of the artist royalties. So ya, kurang lebih begitu. Mau saya terjemahkan mungkin ya bapak-bapak ibu-ibu ya. Oke, boleh gitu, nggak usah. Oh ada teksnya ya, canggih sekali acara ini. Oke, how about you, Ronen? Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. I
No
mean,
one wants to
everyone's
know
here giving their introduction.
I've seen
But
your logo everywhere
now
in
it's
this
your
event.
turn.
Yeah, so very quickly, I'm Ronen. Hi, everyone. I was actually telling a story just now to Dennis about how AppsFlyer actually got started in Indonesia market. It was in 2014, and I saw a registration come in from an email called ojek@gmail.com. I was like, what is this? And like in HQ, they said, oh, Ronen, can you handle this? And I said, I don't know, like let me get in contact with these people and see what it is. It turned out to be Gojek, and they signed up for an account on AppsFlyer in 2014, and that was kind of the beginning of our story here in Indonesia. 2 weeks after I started engaging with them, there was like the traffic in their platform, the millions of app installs per day was like crazy. And then it was like, at one point, the biggest app in Southeast Asia. So AppsFlyer is a mobile measurement platform, and we work with app developers from around the world and to help them to measure discovery and app engagement. And why am I here talking about NFTs? I have no idea, or maybe I do. What is your definition of an NFT?
So, the definition of an NFT is that it's actually a digital token, like a unique digital token that is stored in the blockchain that houses your ownership of whatever that is attached to it. So previously people would think like, oh, NFT is digital art or that monkey picture or whatever it is. But then you can somehow attach anything to it actually, basically. So maybe in the past few months you've seen the rise of digital art as an NFT. But it's not only that. It could be music. It could be even tethered to like physical assets. So whatever that is attached to it is more like a proof that you actually own it. I think that's basically NFT for me. Yeah.
Brandon, do you think taking a JPEG, clicking right, saving is an NFT?
No, because basically I know there has been like a lot of like, videos and photos like when, a lot of like NFTs are soaring up in prices. Like, oh, it's $1 million, it's a $3 million NFT. And people like content creators are like, you are so stupid. I could just save as this JPEG and I have this monkey. But that's not really the point, because the real point is the underlying technology that's actually the vehicle for all this media that's placed on top of these smart contracts, turning them into a non-fungible token. So basically, if you have these NFTs, you are verifying your own ownership towards the token. So whatever benefits or whatever utilities that comes with the NFT, you are eligible. But if you only have the JPEG, like let's just say like BC, Bored Ape Yacht Club, the most expensive NFT, they released their land, their metaverse NFTs, and then they release tokens. If you own the JPEGs, you don't get them all. But because some holders, they can verify it because they bought the NFTs, they get the airdrops for free. And that's like free assets for them. So really, blockchain is what really matters right now.
Yep.
But Dennis,
Yes, Pak.
how many NFTs do you have?
A lot.
Okay, is there any, person who works in tax office? No?
Tax office.
Nggak ada ya?
How many digits, first of all?
Okay, maybe it starts with, okay, on my first 3 months of collecting NFTs, I'm collecting 100 NFTs.
A lot.
For the first 3 months. I mean, it's like last year, I think, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year. Last year it was.
And your
very crazy.
NFT net worth was?
Yeah.
Your NFT net worth?
Ya ada lah.
Don't lah, jangan lah.
Ya ada lah.
DAYC?
Ya ada yang rugi, ada yang nangis, ada yang
Rugi is
ketawa,
lost.
gitu. Yeah, but right now I think mostly of my NFT collections are consisting of NFT arts, art NFTs and music NFTs. Yeah, maybe last time I checked, I don't know, around 300, I think.
What was your first NFT?
Yes?
Your first NFT?
The most special one.
Oh, the first one.
First
Like the first one, I bought it on Tesos Network. From Tesos Network. It only cost like, in rupiahs, only cost like 50,000 rupiahs, or maybe like $3. That is my first NFT ever. It's a picture of a worm, I think. Yeah, it's very simple. It's a 3D worm, but I think to myself like, well, this is an NFT, and I think it's within my budget, so I'll buy it. Pretty simple. Yeah, I'm a very simplistic man.
So, I think probably a lot of you are familiar with Web3 or trying to become familiar with Web3, and obviously NFTs is part of what exists within the Web3 domains. And I think something, in addition to this, has also been, we talk about cryptocurrencies. And so this space seems quite interesting, but it's emerging as a technology. And we know that when technologies are emerging, there tends to also be a lot of fraud that exist within these new things, right? So when we talk about this Indonesia and the creator economy, and people who actually want to get rich and get rich quick, because I think many people like to get rich quick, like how do you think like we can prevent this, or is this really a get rich quick scheme, or is this a real industry that's emerging?
Yeah, I think I have a say on that. I think the instant rich or get rich quickly here, I think it's a bit interesting. Because first, I think it's a double-edged sword. Last few months, we've seen NFTs took off, mainly because of the wealth creation like effect from them. Like you've seen your friends just bought an NFT for like $50, and then the next day they can sold it like for $500 or even $1,000. So that made people think like, okay, I can get rich from this thing, right? And then, but I think it's a very dangerous mindset and a very unsustainable way of thinking, because then, if you think about this, so Web3 itself is inherently more complex. So you have to ideally basically understand about the basic of the blockchain. Let's say there has like smart contracts, there has wallets and so on. But with that instant riches mindset, people would flock into this space thinking they could get that with the mindset of, okay, I want to skip the hard part. All of those security part, I want to skip those part. I just want to see the money. I think those are very dangerous things. So I basically think is that it could be good and bad at the same time, because I don't think like we've seen those heights of NFTs like last month if it doesn't happen. But then it's very dangerous because at least basically for us to be involved in this, you need to somehow understand about the basic understanding about the blockchain or even like the security part of it and everything. Because I think if that doesn't happen, then it's gonna be dangerous for everyone. And I'm not saying that it's actually wrong or right, but I think that's the way it is, yeah.
Brandon, you seem like you have something to add there.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's always risks because with NFTs and also cryptocurrencies, you're having full custody of the assets that you have. And it's quite different with cryptocurrencies and NFTs, because in cryptocurrencies, the driving force of NFTs to be implemented and to be fully adopted in the world is to have people utilizing it or growing hype on it, you know? So like, let's just say like, oh, Justin Bieber bought Bitcoin, like nobody's gonna like shake their head, like, okay. But if like Justin Bieber just bought this Indonesian NFT, then people are like, what is NFT? Oh my God, the price just got up because people are like buying. But obviously with, you know, with something that goes along with hype, there's always risk, like there's always like the bad players. But it's actually very thankful because like from the bull market, we're not kind of in a bear market where like cryptocurrencies are just falling down in prices. And there's actually like 50,000 NFT projects up 2 until today. And now we can definitely see with full transparency that there are actually a lot of bad players that are like coming in, just scamming and rug pulling, you know. So I think it's a really good time because we're washing them out. People who have like done their dues, whatever, they're leaving because they don't want to do anything with it. But people, like BlocX, like Arktivak, we're actually building something. We're actually building products. We're actually building IPs. We're building like experiences to make this a home for like Web 2 people jumping into Web 3 space. And I have to take this term from Anthony from GDP because I was just talking with him yesterday. He was like saying like from Web 2 and Web 3, we still need a bridge to it, which is Web 2.5. So I'm really seeing in the future, like, because like now, like we go on like, central exchanges, like applications in Indonesia, like Toko Crypto, you got Pinto. People are like buying cryptocurrencies and they don't have to understand what a seed phrase is. They don't have to understand what a blockchain is. I just want to invest in Bitcoin. So I'm really seeing that in the future, there's going to be a trend where like a lot of like applications, whatever it is, like e-commerce, ticketing, games, whatever, having like blockchain implemented, but it's gonna be so seamless. It's like now we're using email, but we don't know what is an STMP, what is a POP3. We don't care. We just know how an email works. What is a .com? I bet nobody knows what .com stands for. It's commercialized, right? I don't even know, see? But I'm using it. Like HTTP. What is HTTP? We don't know. But we just use it to type it to go on like domain and web pages. So I'm really seeing like a trend going there. And it's going to be a safer one because like the real players are actually going to stay and build something on Web3.
And I want to add something about that. So right now we know that the market is a bit crashing, right? And I know it's a bit hard for you to find something positive when your portfolios are all red, right? But I think there is a positive thing from this market crashing. I think it's gonna give enough time for the technology to mature. Because previously, everyone is trying to flocking in. It's not a sustainable growth in a sense. But right now, I hope with this somehow like a bear market thing, then the technology have some time to mature and grow, and we can finally see the true value of it. I think that's what I think.
I think that's there's so much good insight there. And if I can kind of summarize based on my knowledge, NFTs can be standalone images that you just want to buy and hold and enjoy, like the picture of the girl that you bought. But there's also projects and there's value behind it, right? It's actually a business. Creating NFT just isn't like I create something and I sell it and I'm done with it. When you look at something like Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? It's held its value, number one. Number two, there's functional and utility value to this, which is beyond, like, you buy membership by you holding this NFT, you hold ownership into this exclusive club.
Yeah.
And it's finite. There's only a certain number of members, and until...
Yeah. Who owns one?
Who has one of those?
This guy owns
Until
one.
you sell that, until you sell that to this guy here sitting in the front, then he all of a sudden becomes part of the BAYC and you are kicked out, right?
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it. And I think that, and Dennis, I want to go into, because we talk about the creator economy, right? Yes. And I think a lot of you were in Martin's session yesterday, which was probably the most amazing session that I've heard in any of the conferences that I've been to in at least in the past 2 years, which is one. No, I'm just kidding. in a very, very long time. But he talked about what Indonesia, the potential here in Indonesia. And something that he mentioned was so profound, was that Indonesians are actually one of the most empathetic societies or populations as a country. How do you take that great promise of Indonesia into the creator economy? And how do you create some type of project in the NFT world or the metaverse?
Okay, so yeah, you are very right, because in Indonesia, everyone here, each one of us wants to be a part of something larger, wants to be a part of some cause or some ideals. Be it like, whether you're a fan of a soccer team, or a religious group, or a idol group, many things. You want to be a part of something. That's why one of our founding fathers, they, they told us that even the economy itself, it has to be very, very, cooperative. That's why ada koperasi. Cooperative ya. Koperasi apa ya bahasa Inggrisnya? Kooperatif ya. Iya. They want, they want that kind of sense of belonging. Okay. That's why we at Netra, we want to make sure that everyone here who loves artist music, we can give a way for them to be a part of that music as a, as a quote unquote shareholder for their single. That's why every time an artist, a musician release a single, we give opportunity to their fans to buy a fraction of the ownership by selling the NFTs. And by holding the NFTs, they can get also a fraction of their digital royalties from Spotify, from YouTube, from TikTok, and other digital outlets. And by that way, I hope we can reach more audience, not just only music, but maybe other mediums as well.
Let's do a quick project here.
Yes.
Let's do a little project here.
Okay.
Any musicians out there? DJs, pianists, violinists? Does anyone play an instrument?
Anyone who played music?
Can anyone sing
instruments?
there?
Koplo,
Okay.
koplo,
Oh, there you
koplo.
are.
Ada yang koplo mungkin? Asik loh koplo, marketnya gede banget sekarang, sumpah.
I think she's not Indonesian.
Yeah.
No. So, if you create music, how does everyone here participate in that artistic creativity?
Yeah, I mean the artistic creativity part itself is only for the musician, okay? But the ownership of the music will be shared to the musician and the NFT holders. Basically, the musician will be hold the majority share, like 50%, and the rest 50% will be shared through the many NFT holders. Will be divided to them. So that's why the musician will be the main the majority shareholder on the music.
So, effectively, what you're saying is that someone in here can be a creator.
Yes.
And everyone can participate
yes.
in the future potential of that creation, whether it's music, whether it's art, everyone can share in that economy, right?
If you're attaching it to that music creation and then all the potential benefits in the future, then it is. Everyone here could take part of the ownership of that thing.
Yeah.
And then it's stored in the blockchain, so it will stay there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you will get paid forever.
Yes.
Depending, yeah. I
Yes,
think
exactly.
that potentially could
Even
happen
even
too.
if you share the playlist or the link for the music to your friends, you can get royalties from there. So basically, those super fans who holds the NFT will be the marketers, quote unquote, for that single.
That's a one way of using it.
Brandon?
Yeah, he actually sparked an app that I know. It's called Audius, and like Ashley also talked about it yesterday. So it's a music streaming services where it's giving back to the listeners. So like listeners, they're able to earn by just listening or contributing to the app. So like an example that I picked up when I was like exploring the app months ago was like you can actually listen to your artist and earn. You can create, you can join into a competition, a playlist competition, because like a lot of us, like, people who are listening to Spotify, they like to make playlists, right? Nick, you like to make like metal music playlists just to get up in the morning. And then so like these playlists are not just listened by people and like, oh, how many followers do you have in your playlist? Or how many listeners do you have in your playlist? That's not it, because audio is actually giving back. If your playlist has like, has a lot of listeners, has a lot of followers, you can gain out of it. So people are pushed to like contribute build the product. We're not just like, as a participant, but we're like investors in here because like I can gain token out of it. I'm earning something out of it. And then I'm also supporting my artists because there are no more intermediaries. When I'm listening to this music, I am very sure that whenever I listen to this music, I'm giving the whole 100% royalty back to the artist. Not a percent, or like maybe a very fractional percent goes to the platform. So that's very interesting of what Dennis has just mentioned. I was just reminded to that app.
It transformed the way the business and its customers somehow connected right now. Previously, if you're a business and you're selling a product, and then people buying that product, and then that's it, right? But if you're like buying the NFTs, let's say for that project or that product, then you're essentially like buying a piece of those communities. So you're being part of it. Whatever benefits that is attached to it, it's up to the business owners or it's up to the creators. But then the idea of be able to verify the ownership of that person, of being part of the community, that changes the whole game.
Yeah.
So I think that's basically.
So that's kind of what splits between Web 2 companies and also Web 3 companies. In Web 2 companies, when you want to find a funding, you usually go to like an angel investor. You go to a VC. But in Web 3, you can just pitch an idea and it's decentralized. Like you can just propose this idea to your community and have like 1,000 or 2,000 people, hey, buy my token, buy my NFT. Satunya 1 juta, one NFT is 1 million rupiah. And then we get like 1,000 people, oh, okay, I got like 1 billion rupiah now just to kickstart my idea. So that's what's very interesting. So it really levels out the playing field for a lot of people. Like some people who are like, in Africa or like in Europe, we basically sometimes like, some people don't even have the network to go to a VC. They don't know anyone in the VC space. Like, how do I fund my project, this brilliant idea? But if you can just go on Web3, go on Twitter, on Discord, like, I have this idea, why don't you guys support me? And now we have 1,000 people who are actually supporting you. So what makes Web3 very special is that sometimes you don't even have to spend a dime on marketing because you have 1,000 people who is invested in you, who is going to promote the project for you. So that's what's so cool about Web3. Yeah.
So I'm sure people are kind of thinking, okay, I have a skill, I'm a good artist, I'm a musician. How do I get started? How do I even like take the first step into Web3, into creating an NFT? What do I do?
Well, I think I have to say something that first we have to remind ourselves that the Web3 NFT itself, because right now some people are a bit afraid to go into this.
Yeah. Is anyone afraid to go into Web3?
You've heard some of the people saying like, oh, I invested in NFTs and then I just lost all of the monies there. I got scammed here and there. I think you've
there
heard
are
that
too many
story, right?
hassles to.
Yeah, too many like that. So I think we need to remind ourselves that the Web3 technology, NFT itself, is essentially, well, like any other technology, it is actually not harmful or even not helpful in a way because it is a tool, right? And if it is used with a good intention, so it has like a positive impact on the society. But on the other hand, if it is used with a bad intention, then it's somehow having like a detrimental effect on the society itself. So I think the first thing that you need to do is that know the tools itself. You have to understand a bit about the like blockchain. It doesn't have to be like very advanced, like the very basic of it, how it works, what is it like this, and is it like that? And then you need to understand about the security itself. At least you need to know how to secure your wallet, let's say that part. And then if you're interested in the project, then at least do a bit of a research of that project, whether it's gonna be like sustainable project or is it gonna be a rug. We call it like a rug pull because it's somehow after you invest and then the founder is gone. So I think the technology itself is very interesting and it has a huge potential. But then, because of the thing that I mentioned previously about the instant riches, people coming in don't really care about anything else, I just want to get rich. So like a good legit project who's actually gaining like funds or even raising funds from the NFT, perhaps someone who's actually funding that NFT or purchasing that NFT don't really care about the project. So I think starting out from there, joining in the project and then joining the community, right? You don't have to buy it in the first place. Perhaps you can join the community in the Discord. You can somehow follow the Twitters. You can talk with the founders. They usually had like an AMA, like Ask Me Anything session in Twitter. You can start from there. And then after you understand, then you can start creating it. Because I think create an NFT is actually easy, but it depends on what value you attach to it. So if it is not valuable, you can create an NFT, but it has no value. But if you create like a project behind it, you put a vision there, it's gonna be valuable and potentially change the world.
Where do you start though, from a platform basis? Like what, the start here button, where is that?
OpenSea? No?
Yeah, OpenSea, yeah. But
It's most
actually,
popular.
I like to add an extension is that we're still very, very early because up until today, I've been like in the Web3 space for a year and my dad still doesn't understand what NFT is. Like I tell him, Dad, can you now explain it to me? Like how I explain it to you is like, yeah, it's a digital art. Like we're still very early. But truthfully for me, like all of these like tasks aside is that you have to understand the purpose and why did Satoshi Nakamoto created this, this crazy technology, and why are there like so many maxis? Why are there so many believers? Well, truthfully for me, because I think this is like the soundest money that we have like just invented together. Like just take an example. So I always put purpose in something that I believe or in something that I work for. So like for NFTs and also Web3 and cryptocurrency, like the tragedy that we had in Ukraine, where there's like a lot of people migrating out of the country, and then the central banks they close and they don't have access to their money at all. They migrated to like countries close to it. But because of blockchain, they are able to access their money again because it is not centralized. It is not under anybody's custody. It is only by you. If you know the seed phrase, you can go to any other countries. You can access to any wallets and you're going to be back with your own assets. And that's what's really cool about it because there was like a lot of donations from other countries in the shape of cryptocurrencies for all the people who were affected by the tragedy. And then also there's like, what I really also believe is that cryptocurrency is the future because it's a very portable money. And then like it's also fixing a problem that we have, like especially Indonesians. It's called remittance, where you have like people living in like people working like let's just say like in Saudi Arabia, and then people who are apa bilangnya WNA ya. Harus tanya dia kalau Indonesianya. Yang kerja di TKI. Yeah, tenaga kerja Indonesia. Yes, foreign workers, Indonesian foreign workers. So like if they want to send money back to their family, they have to get an remittance fee. And usually when they want to send money like 5 million rupiah, they will be charged 1 million rupiah, 500,000 rupiah, and it takes days. But with cryptocurrency, with blockchain, whatever you want to send 100,000 rupiah, you want to send 1 billion rupiah, the fee is still going to be the same. It's probably only going to be like 1% or 2%, like usually like 50,000. So like it fixes a lot of problems. That's why like I vouch for it. I love it.
And I think even just to put this in more simple context, let's say you go and attend an event, right?
Yes.
Whether it's like, Headed in the Clouds, which is coming up in December, or you going to the Hajj, you can now actually collect something, an NFT that says, oh, I was at Hajj 2022, right?
Yeah.
And it's that simple, and that's something that you will keep with you forever. It will be like a memorabilia. Kind of like, I don't know, I used to collect stamps as a kid. Seems kind of boring now, but...
Yeah, actually, Arktivak, we worked with Yudha Fest, which is the biggest festival. That just happened a few weeks ago. So like
we're experimenting with that to have some sort of like memorabilia, and then for the event itself. So I think the next like Jakarta Ras project, we're gonna do something again with them. So stay tuned. So we cannot say now, but we're gonna implement something like that because we're trying to explore the boundaries and then how the Web3 technology or NFT does, but then try to make it simpler for anyone who doesn't really understand about Web3. At least they feel the impacts of it. So I think that's going to help to accelerate the adoption.
Yeah.
Because when you're talking about Web3, I need to learn about this, it's a bit too much for some people.
Yeah.
So at least giving them like a taste of the impacts, and then maybe getting interest from them, and then slowly you're going to have like an accelerated like adoption rate.
But Dennis,
Yeah, Pak Ronen.
what is the future of NFTs and Indonesia? What do you think? What's going to happen here?
Okay, NFTs will go beyond digital art. NFTs will be going beyond just only a token for membership. Maybe I should give this in Indonesian if you may.
Please, I won't
Yeah.
understand a word, but
You're gonna have to
Yeah.
agree.
Ya,
Whatever he
nanti
says.
I will
kalau
agree.
teman-teman tambahin juga ya.
Yeah.
Jadi ini maaf saya harus pakai bahasa Indonesia karena ini memang konsepnya harus translate nanti lama, tinggal 7 menit soalnya. So, NFT itu nggak cuma sekedar gambar saja. NFT itu adalah sebuah medium. Bahkan itu hanyalah sebuah teknologi. Kenapa kemarin NFT itu bisa terkenal dengan gambar-gambar lucu dan monyet dan cacing 3D dan segala macamnya? Ya karena memang NFT di masa-masa awalnya dikombinasikan dengan digital art. Kedepannya bisa dikombinasikan dengan digital ticket. Bahkan ini sudah terjadi. Buat teman-teman di Arktivak dan segala macam ini, mereka sudah bikin memadukan NFT dikombinasikan dengan digital art, membership, dan bahkan jual merchandise. Jual events juga gitu loh. Kedepannya NFT kemana? Ingat di NFT itu ada sebuah fitur namanya smart contract. Kontrak pintar. Ini bisa jadi apapun yang kita mau. Misalkan ketika suatu hari nanti teman-teman bikin kontrak pranikah sama calon istri Anda, mungkin akan pakai NFT, mungkin akan pakai smart contract. Jadi ada bagi hasilnya di situ. Nah ini kayaknya ibu-ibu pada ketawa nih kayaknya nih. Ya memang bisa akan semudah itu. Pajak, mungkin pajak nanti akan pakai NFT sehingga kita bisa tahu berapa persen yang keluar langsung dibayar pajak otomatis. Dan pastinya harusnya kantor pajak juga transparan. Pajak yang kita kumpulin ke mereka dibelanjakan buat apa saja. Bukti pembelian tersebut bisa menjadi NFT. Dan segala macam segala hal yang mungkin secara pencatatan itu mungkin ribet, selama ini mungkin carut marut dan tidak ada transparansinya, mungkin bisa dan harusnya bisa kita NFT-kan. Tapi semua itu sekarang kita masih dalam proses building, eksperimen. Makanya kita mulai dari simpel-simpel dulu. Gambar monyet. Itu saja sih. Mungkin ada yang mau menambahkan?
Yeah. Yeah,
Can you translate that?
I'm sorry Ronen, but I will tell you.
It sounded very good.
Sounded very good. You have to agree whatever he says.
I'm sorry.
I believe everything you say.
Yeah. I told them Ronan is handsome gitu.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I mean, first of all, I mean, why are you two always on stage together?
It's the spirit of Web3.
It's the spirit of Web3.
Collaboration.
So share with the audience. And by the way, if anyone has a question, please raise your
Yeah,
hand.
feel free,
We'll get to it.
Yeah. So I personally think in the future of Web3, I think it's gonna be inclusive. Because right now when people thinking about Web3, it's something that's too complex, right? And in the future, I believe it will get more complex and more advanced. But how people utilize that Web3 technology is gonna be significantly simpler. I think that's what I think. Because I think the one who's holding back the adoption rate is that it's not simple enough for people to use, right? And then if we can get there, I think the adoption rate would be big. So I think, like, in Arktivak itself, we're trying to push the boundaries of the Web3 technologies, but try to make it simpler for the user to use it. I think in the future, it's gonna be like that. Right now, it's in the experimental phase, where people are trying to do this, to do that, utility for A, B, C, it's all in the trial phase. So I think the more and more technology grow, I think it's gonna be simpler for a user to use. I believe that would happen.
Yeah, I'm actually a big believer of Naval Ravikant, if you know. And one of the ideology that he has is that work on positive sum games. And I really believe in that because I feel like Web3 embodies a positive sum game. It's not a zero-sum game where it's like a monkey game, you know, who's number one, who's better, you know, it's not a competition here because this is a new era of age, a new age of web where we all have to participate because it's decentralized. You know, we have thousands of people working on a certain project, a certain a product or anything that is. But what I'm very most excited about is the implementation of Web3 and blockchain in games. And so if you guys are interested in to know more, we actually have a booth here because we're working with Mythic Protocol. So that's one of our latest game coming out. So what's very interesting is that I'll just run through very easily because I used to play games, and definitely a lot of parents here have children play games, and then when they spend money on their games, they don't really own the assets because like these game producers or developers, they can just like produce like, oh, there's this new weapon. If you use this weapon, you can kill more people. And then they sell like 100,000s of supply, and we never know because it's not on blockchain. So like they're just milking money out of it. But if later on, where we can implement blockchain into games, we can definitely know the max supply of a certain accessories or weapons, and then therefore there's going to be a marketplace for it, where people like me playing games and spending money on the game can actually benefit from it because the supply stays the same. Where like a lot of Web 2 games are not embodying that. So I'm really excited about the implementation of like blockchain in games. Yeah.
So I'll inject my opinion here.
Okay.
I'm a believer in technology. And the way I can describe this is in terms that I know. I've been around for Web 1. You were not born yet. Web 1 was all about reading. The current web, which is Web 2, is all about reading and writing. And if I look at this very objectively, and everything that you guys have mentioned is about ownership.
Yes.
And so if you look at Web 3, it's just an evolution of Web 2, which Web 2 was an evolution of Web 1. In Web 3, you have read, you have write, and you have own. Now, if any of you are skeptic about NFTs and Web 3, tell me, and I don't think anyone can say here with full honesty that they don't want to own a part of what they are creating for perpetuity. And that is the beauty of NFTs and blockchain and what Web 3 really represents. So, anyone have a question? Anyone? Bueller? No questions? All right, I guess we're out of time.
Right.
So, with that, I want to thank you guys. This is super awesome.
Thank
and
you.
I'm so happy to have hosted you guys. And
Nice.
let's do the needy. Come on. If you guys could all just participate in 6 seconds, stand up. So we're gonna do a team selfie right here. Let's see you. Stand up, people. Stand up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Terima kasih.
Thank you very much. Matur nuwun.
Beli.
Gratis ongkir. Beli.
Gratis ongkir. Download beli sekarang. Beli tepat waktu. Beli tepat waktu. Download beli sekarang.
Beli
Pasti ori.
Beli
Pasti ori. Download beli sekarang. Pasti puas, pasti beli.